Hello, hello, hello. Here we go. Okolie versus Glowacki fight night. As you can see from the banner below, it's Ellie Scottney versus Melis at the moment. So it's Melis Gangloff, and at the moment seems like a right scrap. To be fair, it really does. And Ellie Scottney, who is someone who, let me just update this. She's someone who looked a real talent in the women's game. To be fair, she really does. And I could hear the commentary and really raving about her. And she had her first fight against Beck Connolly, really impressed. And this is another step up. And I think Eddie Hearn said that he wants her to be challenging for a world title at the end of this year, which is crazy to think about. So she'd be getting a world title shot after what, a year and a couple of months. Unbelievable. In other news, Chris Smith beat what's his name? Ducar in in 5 points, unanimous decision, and knocked him down twice in 2 of the rounds. But he really gassed himself out, especially in the second knockdown. He gassed himself out big time. And in the end, it ended up being a pretty scrappy fight, and it ended up being a lot closer than it should have been. He kind of lost his shape, and I think unfortunately for him, it kind of just, he became sloppy, I think, was the main issue. He became sloppy, and it definitely showed, I think. It definitely showed in his work. And unfortunately, he just, didn't look too refined, I think, in the end, which is, it's disappointing. Disappointing to say the least. But yeah, really, really good, really good fighter, Chris Smith at times. I mean, he looks like, he's a talent, but he just unfortunately doesn't look. He doesn't look very slick, does Chris Smith? He just looks very rugged, come forward, almost like he's like, I'm gonna bludgeon you, right? I'm just gonna bludgeon you. I'm gonna come forward. Not much head movement. He got hit quite a lot. It was just a bit disappointing, I think, his performance, and he won't be too happy about that. Chris Smith. I think Shane McGuigan will be a bit disappointed as well. Obviously, he's probably focusing even more on Lawrence Okolie's world title fight, which is later on tonight. So, but I think he will look at that. Chris Smith and Lawrence Okolie are both cruiserweights, and I think for him to perform the way he did, Lawrence Okolie, Chris Smith, is it's not great. It's not great. Let's just put it that way. It's a pretty disappointing performance, to say the least. Yeah, not a good one, I think, for me. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah, let's see though. Let's see how it goes. And I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping that we can get a case of, these guys like Chris Smith. Obviously, he fought Riakporhe, and Riakporhe beat him. Would he beat him on that performance? No. He said he wants the rematch with Riakporhe. I don't think he's getting anywhere near Riakporhe. He wants to deal with that performance. Round 5 of 6, Ellie Scottney versus Gangloff. I tell you what, Gangloff's not a bad fighter. Like, she looks pretty good. I have to say, she's no mug. This is all action. This really is, as Ellie Scottney pushes Gangloff onto the ropes and tries to work on the inside. Both have got their hair braided in kind of different ways as well, almost like the David Hay braids. You're kind of looking at those. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to the next few fights as well. I think they're going to be absolute crackers. We've got Joe Cordina against Farouk Kurbanov, and also Anthony Fowler versus Jorge Fortea, which is going to be a big step up for him. It's going to be a huge step up for him, in fact. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's definitely something that I think I just think for him, he's probably thinking, well, I'm looking at what's he looking at? I mean, he's looking at people like he's trying to kind of target people like Ted Cheeseman, JJ Metcalf, who are obviously fighting next week. People like, oh God, it's completely. What's his name again? You've got Ted Cheeseman, JJ Metcalf, and Scott Fitzgerald. Gosh, can't even remember. Scott Fitzgerald as well is in the mix. Those four, I mean, they'll be looking to fight each other 100%. As we go into the final round of this fight, I'll tell you what, she's one tough cookie. Is Maylis Gangloff. I have to say, she's really giving it. She's giving it her all. To be fair, I would say that Ellie Scotney's won the majority of the rounds, so I think it's going to be a pretty convincing win for Ellie Scotney. I'd say probably 4-2, 5-1 out of the 6 rounds, but she's put on a very, very brave performance here, Gangloff, and she looks pretty good for. I just think this has been a very good experience for Ellie Scotney, and it's another step up, clearly, and it's another fight for her to get her teeth stuck into, and she definitely has, I think, for sure, which is really good to see. 100%. Let's see how we go here as well, because I would love to see. Well, I just can't wait to see how Okolie gets on. To be honest with you, that fight, and these fights are revving me up nicely for that big fight that's going to be on, which will be fantastic. Just cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute cracker. It really will be. It really will be. Well, let me know as well what you guys think about. Let me know what you guys think about what's going on in terms of. I guess Lawrence Okolie. I mean, who do you think is going to win that fight? And are you impressed with Ellie Scotney if you're watching this? Are you impressed with Ellie Scotney? Because I think she looks pretty good. She moves well. Her head moves quite good. She's got good range of punches, good combination puncher as well. I think she looks good. I think she looks very good, actually. I have to say, she's impressed me so far. So far, so good. Obviously, she probably won't care what I think, to be honest with you. But yeah, really, really good stuff for sure. Ellie Scotney and Maylis Gangloff. I'm just wondering as well, like, where do they find these fighters? Like, Gangloff I've never heard of until this fight. I mean, I'm no expert in boxing. I'm a fan, enthusiast, but crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know where they find these people. I never ever heard of her until this. But yeah, I like the braids are quite cool actually, and it makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I think who was it that was fighting? They were fighting with their hair up, right? And their hair just kept on getting. It's Katie Taylor, right? So I don't think so. Katie Taylor doesn't fight with braids, from what I know, whereas a lot of the girls do. So Shannon Courtney does, Ebony Bridges does. I think a lot of them do, like from what I know. Was Ramla Ali? She fought earlier. I'm not sure. But anyway, a lot of the women fight with braids, right? Because it makes sense, because it just sorts out your hair and means that your hair is not going all over the place. But Katie Taylor, she just doesn't care. Her hair's not in braids, and her hair just goes absolutely everywhere, which is hilarious. So funny. Ellie Scotney, though, I think is going to get the win here. I'll be very surprised if she doesn't, for sure. Yeah, very, very, very. I think it's a very solid performance, actually, I have to say, from Ellie Scotney. And I think up next, we actually have Anthony Fowler is going to be up next against Fortea. So that's going to be a really good fight. I'm looking forward to that as well. And it's interesting that Eddie Hearn said that she is going to be
Matt clean hand, so Gangloff getting some joy there, but a good win for Scotney.
Yeah, another impressive performance from Ellie Scotney this evening. She moves on to 2-0 to extend her.
Yeah, so she goes on winning that fight by unanimous decision.
With her progress so far in the paid ranks.
I'd be interested to see the development of both her and Ramla Ali.
Wins via points as well, so I think she's definitely one to look out for. I wouldn't be surprised if she's challenging for a world title, to be fair, at the end of this year, to be honest with you, because the one thing that you can say is that if you're talented enough in the women's division, they don't quite yet have the depth of talent in terms of numbers that the men do. So it's no surprise if you get, someone coming up and they've got the talent, getting an opportunity for a world title so soon. For example, Shannon Courtney and Ebony Bridges, right, for the WBA, I think it's super bantamweight title, which is going to be in a few months' time. It's not; it's in 4 weeks' time, actually. So that'll be a cracking fight as well. That's on the 10th of April. So that'll be a really, really good fight. Tony Bellew, as always, on comms, and Johnny Nelson. And Anna Woolhouse is wearing these heels that the heel looks absolutely huge. And I've never understood how people can walk with those, but I guess you just got to be really, really skilled at walking with them. Anthony Fowler's up next. Let me update the banner as well. Scotney beating Gangloff via points. So good performance from Scotney. Very good performance, in fact. Impressive stuff from her. Let's just update the banner. And also, guys, if you're watching, please do let me know what you think about what's going to happen later on with Okolie versus Glowacki, and that's for the WBO Cruiserweight World Title. You heard me right. It's for the Cruiserweight World Title, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. Tell you that right now. It's going to be a cracker. So stay tuned. Do not miss it. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. I did just say great, by the way, not great on purpose. Do not ask me why. So Fowler versus Fortea. Let's update the banner below because that's next. That's going to be it's a big step up. It's a really big step up for Anthony Fowler. I'll tell you that now. Fortea's no mug, and he's kind of going up to almost European levels slightly, I would say. For anyone that doesn't know, Chris Smith beat Ducar earlier on by unanimous decision. Really good, very, very good fight. Not particularly good performance by Chris Smith, I'm being perfectly honest with you. Pretty disappointing. Just looked very lumbering. And in the end, he knocked down Ducar twice in 2 of the rounds, but it ended up being quite a tight decision in the end. It really did. Charles says, hey, Fazan, I don't know anything about boxing, but I'll be here listening and learning from you. Found the game on YouTube. Nice, nice. Guys, as well, in the chat, please do fire away with any comments or questions you may have. And please do like this video. It really does help. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, thank you very much. You're all legends. And yeah, just following on from what I was saying, I think Chris Smith is a good cruiserweight. If anyone that doesn't know, cruiserweight's the weight division below heavyweight. And that's what the main fight, Lawrence Okolie versus Glowacki, is going to be for. It's going to be for one of the world titles in the cruiserweight division. It's the WBO, the World Boxing Organization title. And Lawrence Okolie has never won a world title. This is his first opportunity. Glowacki has won it twice before. He's a 2-time world champion. And Okolie's going into this a heavy favorite. But if I'm being perfectly honest with you, Glowacki is very tough, very experienced. It's going to be really tough for him. In addition, we also had Chris Smith, as I said, narrowly beating Ducar because he really gassed himself out completely. After that second knockdown, he just completely exhausted himself trying to knock out Ducar, and Ducar came on really strong. And in the end, he ended up making it into a meal. It was a lot tighter than it needed to be on the scorecards. And we also just saw a women's fight as well, Ellie Scotney versus Gangloff. Ellie Scotney in only her second professional fight. And I think she's only 21, 22, so she's very young. She actually came through that via points as well. So unanimous decision on the scorecards. It was only a 6-rounder as well. She looks very good, and they're looking to actually get her a world title fight at the end of this year. So if anyone doesn't know, the reason why they're able to move women fighters a lot quicker is because at the moment, women's fighting is booming, but the kind of depth of talent, right, in the women's game compared to the men's means that in the women's you can move a lot quicker. There's some very talented fighters, but the numbers are just not quite there compared to the men at the moment. At some point, hopefully they will get there, and I'm sure they will. But it's exciting for talented, prospects coming through in the women's ranks, because it means that you can get opportunities a lot quicker, which is really good. Anthony Fowler up next. He has, for anyone that doesn't know, he's only got one loss on his record. His only loss was to Scott Fitzgerald in a split decision. So a split decision means that two of the, there's 3 scorecards. 2 of the judges ruled in favor of Scott Fitzgerald on points, and the other in favor of Anthony Fowler. But he lost the score on the scorecards, and in the end, I actually ended up watching that fight. He got knocked down in one of the rounds. That actually swung the fight. It really did. So it was a very, very entertaining fight, to say the least, and a lot of bad blood in it. Sorry, just keeping hydrated. And for anyone who is watching this as well, let me know if you are watching the fight, what you're watching on, because I know a lot of people are not just watching on Sky in the UK, but DAZN is an international app. I think you can get it in a lot of countries nowadays as well, which is quite a useful app to have. So he'll be looking Anthony Fowler to make a mark here. He faced Adam Harper last time out, knocked him out. He actually knocked out his last 2 opponents as Anthony Fowler, so he's going into this fight again, probably looking to do the same. He's rebuilt very well since that one loss, and he's looking to kind of build himself up as much as possible. So interesting to see how he can do here. Fortea coming out here, walking out. Guys as well, can you tell me, if I put the volume up, can you hear this? Can you hear this in the background? Can you let me know? Or not? Just let me know if you can hear that music or not. If you can't, let me know. If you can, let me know, please. I just want to know whether you can hear that in the background. It's now gone, that music, but please do let me know. It's really helpful. Anyways, Anthony Fowler versus Fortea is up next. Cannot wait for this fight. It's going to be a cracker. Do not miss it. It's live. For those in the UK, it's live on Sky Sports, Fight Night, and it will be a very, very, very entertaining fight. I'll tell you that now. It's going to be an entertaining fight. Charles says, yes, I can hear it. Oh, damn it. Okay, fine. That's fine. That's fine. I might do this instead then, actually. I might do something instead. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. Fowler versus Fortea is up next, as I said. Fowler just walking out now. His nickname is The Machine. For anyone that doesn't know why, it's because he trains incredibly, like a machine. He really does train like a machine. He is the kind of consummate professional in the gym. And I think there was a hint of arrogance which probably contributed to his loss, because he kind of thought he was unbeatable. But yeah, fun fact. The doctor, so Anthony Fowler's doctor, who's at this fight, I actually interviewed him on the channel. And actually, guys who are interested not just in boxing but cricket, he's also been a doctor at events at the World Cup here in the UK. So to some Pakistan games and India games and stuff as well. He's a sports doctor, so he talked to me about that. Go and check it out. It's really good, actually. He is He's a very, he was a very, very nice guy, actually. Very nice guy. And yeah, it was good. It was very, very good. For sure. Right. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Okay, so Anthony Fowler is out. And oh, okay. Fortea is looking up for this. He's definitely looking up for it, that's for sure, which is good. I like this setup actually. So they're having to do this behind closed doors, right? But yeah. But yeah. Right. I'm going to just change this up. So 1 second. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. Okay. I absolutely cannot wait for this. In fact, I'm just going to quickly get my phone charger and I will be back. I will be back.
Sure, Fowler would look to get the winner of that as well.
Alrighty. Anthony Fowler's he's changed his style quite a lot under his new coach. Shane McGuigan. So it'll be quite interesting to see how he does in this fight as well. For sure. Shreya Makija, thank you very much for joining, Shreya. Please do like this video, if that's okay. And also subscribe if you haven't already, it really does help. And thank you everyone for joining. Shreya, what's my favorite sport? It's really tough. Do you mean my favorite sport to watch or my favorite sport to play? Because it's probably two different answers. I love all three sports that I cover, which is cricket, boxing, and tennis. I don't know if I had to rank them. I think I'll probably change my. It's funny because I'm pretty sure someone asked me this before, and I gave an answer for kind of ones that I'd like to watch in order, and also ones that I'd like to play. But it's funny; it changes day to day. It kind of just depends on how I feel. To be honest with you, I just love all three sports, which is why I cover all three sports really. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I'd just do one. I'd either just do cricket or just do boxing or just do tennis. But I'd love to have some. Hopefully, one day I'll be big enough. I can have some help, and I can just get people. I can get people on, and I actually just did an interview as well with Denzel Bentley, the British middleweight champion. He's just got a really exciting fight sorted out, so I'll be releasing that soon. And if anyone that doesn't know is interested in cricket, I just released an interview with West Indies leg spinner Hayden Walsh Jr., a really nice guy as well. Anyway, Anthony Fowler, off to a pretty good start. He's looking to be aggressive, utilizing his jab well, which is what he needs to be doing, really. He really cannot be, he just can't be slack here, really. He really can't. I like the shorts, actually, as well, from Fortea. Very colourful. Very colourful. If anyone that doesn't know as well, these guys are fighting at super welterweight. So that is one below middleweight. So middleweight, obviously, everyone should be pretty aware of. Marvin Hagler, if anyone doesn't know, really famous boxer, just passed away. He fought at middleweight, and yeah, super welterweight is what division below that. So they're fighting 154 pounds. I mean, yeah, should be good. Should be good. I'm really interested as well to see how this does just in general. Featherweight Optimum, very very good. Let's see how Fortea's record actually. Let's check it out. I want to see what it's like. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, by the way, as well, I should be having someone joining me to watch the fight, which would be really cool. Is Anthony Fowler. He's settling pretty well here, Anthony Fowler. Looking aggressive, on the front foot, and looking to really just establish himself in this contest. Very early doors here, Anthony Fowler. He's looking to just stamp his authority and earn Fortea's respect early doors. And actually, while that is going on, so Fortea's only lost twice. The two times he lost were to an unbeaten fighter, Murtazaliev, and also to Kelvin Dotel, who has one loss. Interesting. So he's a Spanish fighter, and well, you could probably tell from his outfit that he is a Spanish fighter. And you know, he's all clad in in yellow and red and a bit of blue as well. They say this is a step up. I don't know if this is a step up actually. He's number 3 in the world just in Spain for this division. I don't think this is a step up actually. They said it was, and I kind of said it was, but now looking at it, I don't think this is. I think this is a bit of a gimme fight, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Not a gimme fight, but it's a tune-up fight. It's not. I think he's expected to win this. I know his record looks pretty good for Fortea's, but I would say, given his rankings, unless, and sometimes it happens, like the rankings don't always reflect how good a fighter is, but I would assume this isn't the case. Guys, as well, please do remember to like this video and subscribe to Channel Read Us Out. Thank you very much. You're legends. And let me know how you think this fight is going to go, and also how you think the previous fights went, and also the fights coming up. What do you think is going to happen there? Because I'm really looking forward to seeing how. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Okolie does, and also Cordina coming up next. And we had 2 women's fights on here: Ramla Ali and Ellie Scottney both coming through victorious. And we also had Chris Smith kind of labour to a victory in a very, very, very entertaining fight, though, to be fair. Anthony Fowler utilising the double jab. Very, very good work from him as well. He's now got Fortea up against the ropes, trying to throw combinations here. Fortea comes back, though, with a big right hand. Doesn't quite land flush. And he's tatted all up. He's got tattoos everywhere. Does Fortea, and a big cross on the back, on his back as well. Both these fighters ripped as heck. I mean, boxers in general, unless you're a heavyweight, for the most part, they're all in pretty damn good shape, and they kind of have to be, because most of the time they cut weight, right? So a lot of boxers, they might walk around, for example. Say you've got 5-2 fights at welterweight, which is 147 pounds. They'll probably walk around at 160, 165. In some cases, they'll walk around at 170. So imagine they've got to cut 23 pounds to make weight. So when they're walking around hydrated, just, you know, still in good shape, like they're not fat, but they're walking around in decent shape, they're kind of at least, I would say, 160, which is middleweight. Then they have to cut right? They have to cut at least, you would say, 13 pounds, at least, right? At least 13 pounds to 147, which is crazy to think about. And that's why you've got to be really careful. And that's why I was talking to the doctor, sports doctor, who is a sports doctor for Anthony Fowler, and he was saying that, like, you know, obviously rehydrating is really important, but also you just got to be really careful with it. Like, you can't just, you know, you can't be at a weight that way you're kind of starving yourself, or you are so like drained of energy that you just don't perform well. So it's about finding that optimal weight, which is quite interesting. But the reason why they cut weight down is because obviously, if you are naturally, say, a middleweight and you come down to welterweight, which is a lower weight class, then most likely you will have an advantage in maybe height or reach, or even rehydration when you move up in your weight after rehydrating. So, say if you put on 10 pounds after rehydrating, then you can be what's known as a weight bully. But because everyone pretty much does it, no one's really a weight bully in the end, to be fair. Anthony Fowler here looking very much in control. Fortea he's a live opponent. He's definitely up for this, but I wouldn't say he's really troubling Anthony Fowler at all. He hasn't really earned his respect, as Anthony Fowler looks cut off the ring and really stalked down his opponent in Fortea. Just using feints, Anthony Fowler just moving head movement, making sure that, you know, he's not a sitting target as well. And he's definitely worked on his boxing skills with Shane McGuigan. Not to say that he wasn't with David Colwell, but I think maybe he got a bit too comfortable, maybe, and maybe it was a case of not even just changing trainer, but just losing really woke him up, and he got to a point where he thought, you know what, I'm not as good as maybe I first thought, in terms of I still have a lot to learn still. I'm not the finished product. I'm not the finished article. I've got to continue to learn, and that's what the best athletes, not just in boxing, but in all sports, try to do. They try to continually learn, be a sponge, and learn. And like, even when I'm talking to boxers, I constantly ask them about technical things or things that I want to get more knowledge on, because it helps my understanding of it. So that really does help as well. But yeah, and guys, I'm gonna be having another guest joining as well in a bit, Kevel, who I don't think actually the people in the chat. Oh, hold on. Oh, he's down. He's floored. So Anthony Fowler's floored Fortea. So that's a knockdown. He's now getting a standing count from the ref. He's got back up. He's made the count. And and that's a big right hand from Anthony Fowler. This is going to be over, I think. That's a big right hand, big straight right hand straight away as soon as Fortea got up. I think this is over. He's on his back. He's trying to get up, and the referee has called it off. That's a huge knockout by Anthony Fowler. That's a big win, and he's smacking his chest. He's damn happy, that's for sure. Anthony Fowler, he is really happy, and rightly so. A very impressive performance, and he gets the knockout in devastating fashion, as Deontay Wilder would say. I'm just going to update this, because now this is in the results column, and it's a very good result at that. An extremely good result. Really good. It's just a very good finish, I have to say, from Fowler. Let me just update the banner at the bottom for you guys as well. Fantastic finish from Anthony Fowler. Very good finish, it has to be said. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be calling out all the names after this one for sure. He really will be. Fowler winning and beating Fortea via TKO. Really good performance from Anthony Fowler. And he carries on his knockout streak. That's now 3 knockouts in a row. Anthony Fowler looking good, looking sharp. And I tell you what, this link up with Shane McGuigan is definitely bearing fruit. Shane McGuigan has 3 fighters on this card. Anthony Fowler, Chris Smith, who's already fought. And also, he's got Lawrence Okolie. He actually, oh my God. The first knockdown by Anthony Fowler was a jab. It was a triple jab. It was 2 jabs and then kind of, I guess, a power jab, which is crazy to think about. And then the finish was just a right hand, overhand right hand. Your corkscrew shot, backhand, very, very good shot, and just absolutely cleaning him up. Very, very good shot. And yeah, you can see the team getting really happy in the background. Really, really good. And Anthony Fowler having a bit of a laugh with the ref. Only 2 fights to go, guys. Well, 1 fight to go until the big one, which is the world title, the WBO World Cruiserweight Title between Okolie and Glowacki. We've got 1 more fight now to come, and then we're going to have the biggie, the big one. Really looking forward to it as Fowler touches gloves with Fortea, and that's what I really like to see. All these boxers, right? The best thing for me about these fighters when they fight each other is that what they do is they touch gloves after. There's that respect there, right? That you don't always see in some other sports. But I think it's because in boxing, right, you're punching each other in the face. So you just kind of gain and earn that respect, which is really cool to see. And then eventually you just get a point of, well, actually, I've just done really well here. I've won, or even if you lost. And I think, actually, you know what? Even if there's beef beforehand and, they've been trash talking, that respect is earned as soon as you get punched in the face by someone else, I think. In the ring, of course, it's a sport. And I think it's just earned. And it really is. And boxing is a damn tough sport, for sure. It's a lot tougher physically than any other sport that I cover. And yeah, it's a brutal sport, especially heavyweight boxing. And as you move up the weight classes, because people punch harder. And if you think about it, just because you're moving up in weight classes, your chin, your resistance to punches doesn't get any better. People just punch harder. So it's just crazy to think. And that's why in heavyweight boxing, what do they say? It's that old cliche, which is 1 punch can change the fight in heavyweight boxing. And it's just so true. And it's a cliche, but it's the truth for sure. Fantastic win there from Anthony Fowler. And for anyone who's just joining, I'll do a quick rundown of the results. Firstly, though, I'll just go through the next fight, which is Cordina versus Korbanov. And then after that, we've got the main event for the WBO Cruiserweight World Title, Lawrence Okolie versus Krzysztof Glowacki. In other news in the results, Chris Smith beating Dakar in a very scrappy performance via points. Eddie Scotney beating Gagloff via points as well. Her second professional fight, winning that in unanimous decision fashion. And then in addition, Anthony Fowler just now with a really, really impressive knockout of Fortea, beating him in the round 3, actually. So very, very good performance from him. And I'll tell you what, he hasn't shaved. Normally, boxers shave the chest. He doesn't care. He's got a hairy chest. Doesn't care. For anyone who's not from the UK, you probably won't understand him because he's from Merseyside. He's from Liverpool, right? And his accent's quite thick. And a lot of people, when they come to the UK, they say, "Oh, what's he saying?" Although, to be fair, a lot of people from outside the UK might say the same about me. To be fair, as well. So, I'm just assuming. But yeah. Charles says that sports, you have to give your opponent the respect. If you can't treat a game as a game for the love of the game, you shouldn't be playing the game. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. I think, especially it's amazing because boxing is so brutal and you can get hurt so badly. But I think that's where the respect's actually earned, which sounds crazy. Whereas sometimes in other sports, I guess because there's not that, there's not that kind of severe repercussions physically, and mentally as well to a degree, I guess a lot of people at the top level take it for granted and they don't really have that respect that they maybe should have. And as a child's saying, a sport is a sport and you've got to have respect. And you can see because Anthony Fowler obviously went up to Fortea. They both kind of shared a smile. No needle there after the fight. And a really good example is, for example, Wilder Fury. right? Wilder Fury. After that first fight, they got together, had a cuddle, and said, "Oh, you know what? Well fought, blah blah, etc." As well, and said, "You know what? No, respect for taking this fight, respect for coming on. Really, really appreciate the chance from each fighter, and actually it was a good fight and well played." And that's kind of just what you got to do. And it's amazing because I think in boxing your ego could be kind of tarnished a lot, right? Especially if you get knocked out, that's not good. But boxers just put it to one side. It's just amazing. It is amazing, and obviously they share something. Um, they share something right after fighting each other, which is like the shared experience of really digging deep, and it's almost like after you fought someone, it looks like they almost have a glimpse as to what this person's true identity is like. This person's true persona kind of shines through in the boxing ring, because that's where you really find out what a person's like, which is it's frightening in a way, I guess. Charles says so many boxers and American football players go through the post-career health complications, mostly with their brain and nervous system related issues. Yeah, because I think with boxers, especially, I can't really speak too much on American footballers, but with boxers, they kind of sometimes they go too long. Like, look at Muhammad Ali, the greatest ever boxer, potentially one of the greatest ever sportsmen, if not the greatest. In my opinion, he's probably the greatest, not just because of what he did in the ring, but outside. And he went on for too long, and that's why he suffered from it. And a lot of people find it really hard to retire, especially from boxing, because a lot of the time, that's all they know. With other sports, if you carry on too long, the health implications are not there. But with boxing, there is, right? You're getting punched in the head, which is not a natural thing to do. But we love the sport, and I have to say, it's just incredible. The technical aspect is underrated in boxing, and the more I study it, the more I kind of appreciate it. And Anthony Fowler, really, really happy with that victory. Joe Cordina's up next, and a fantastic showing from Anthony Fowler for sure. Again, I don't think it was the big step up that people were saying. I don't think it was, but I think he did a very, very good job for sure. And did Anthony Fowler, and I've been very impressed with him. And Anthony Fowler's been really impressive since he joined with Shane McGuigan. Shane McGuigan joined forces with him, and Shane McGuigan seems to have this effect on quite a few boxers. I mean, Chris Smith hasn't looked fantastic, I'll be honest with you, today, but Lawrence Okolie did in the last fight. And let's see, the proof is in the pudding. The main fight with Lawrence Okolie, if he looks good and he gets Glowacki out of there, that's a really impressive performance. Don't have any bones about that. That's for sure. It'll be a super impressive performance, and I just can't bloody wait for it, because it's going to be a fantastic fight. It really is. So yeah, just stay tuned for that as well, guys. And thank you everyone as well for joining. I know I do a lot. If you've already joined, you'll probably be sick of me hearing it, but I'll say anyway. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. It's amazing to have people joining, and please do feel free to leave your comments or questions and just let me know what you think as well. But yeah, really interesting. And it's funny because Ramla Ali and also Eddie Scotney, who both won today, they have the same opponent in common, which is Bet Connolly. Bet Connolly lost to Eddie Scotney on Eddie Scotney's debut. Ramla Ali facing her in their second contest and ended up coming through that. Both have had 2 fights. So very, very interesting to see whether they get matched up at some point in the future as well, which I'm sure they will, but it won't be now. It'll be probably for a world title, or after one has got a world title for sure. Yeah. Can't wait for this, man. Look at this quality. Joe Cordina's up next. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. And Charles says, American football is a more rougher sport. I was reading someone that the life expectancy of a full Then career players just in the mid-50s, almost 20 years, lower to normal. Yeah, it's interesting because I think with American football, it's not as brutal in the sense that you're not getting punched. Like with boxers, right? Your main target for the most part is obviously the body, but a lot of people will punch to the head. Really, that's what you're looking. In American football, we don't really have that. You have helmets on, but it's still brutal. I think still brutal. I would say I think boxing is more brutal. MMA is up there as well. I think the issue with boxing is that people go on too long. Whereas in American football, even if it's rougher, their careers are very, very, very short. But interesting that the full-length career player, the life expectancy is only in the mid-50s. It kind of says something. I think that also might be a case of, I know it sounds really bad, but doping in sports. And to be fair, I think it's everywhere. It's rife, not just in American football, but in boxing and stuff as well. So really, really interesting to hear from that as well. Okay, we've got Joe Cordina coming up next as KFC is blasting that advert out. And I haven't had KFC in ages. What do people think of KFC? Fan, not a fan? It's a really weird question. But as we're waiting, watching Anthony Joshua do his links advert, as usual, let me know what you think about KFC. Such a weird question, isn't it? Weird question. But so for anyone that doesn't know, I've actually been calorie counting because we've been in lockdown here in the UK. And I was thinking, you know what? I probably need to watch what I'm eating. So I mean, calorie counting, but I have a cheat day once a month, and my next cheat day is next weekend. And I'm thinking, what should I have? Like, because we have basically get a takeaway. We get one takeaway a month, and that's a cheat day. Yeah, let me know. Dayal says, "Hi, I don't watch boxing, but can you tell me who are the big players in boxing?" Yeah, sure. So Dayal, the big names in boxing, you can look them up. Anthony Joshua is one, heavyweight champion of the world. Got 3 out of the 4 major belts. Tyson Fury is the other heavyweight champion, really, really big player, or big fighter even. And Canelo, Sal Alvarez. So Canelo, again, probably the biggest fighter around, I would say. There's actually a few Indian boxers, but not particularly big. There's a few, Dayal as well. But yeah, I'd say those are the 3 biggest. For sure. Those are the ones that I would say for sure. Guys, while watching, thank you very much for tuning in. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Rate us up. Thank you very much. And if you have joined and you want a bit of information, like Dial, let me know. Happy to help. Right. I'm really looking forward to this next fight. It's going to be a cracker. I'm telling you that right now. Joe Cordina. I'm expecting him to either outclass this guy and win on points or to knock him out. Although Joe Cordina, let's have a look actually. Let's not guess. Let's just have a look. I don't think, from what I know, what I've seen, I don't think he's a huge puncher, but I could be wrong. Oh, he's okay. 7 knockouts from 11 fights. Although his last 2 fights, he only won. He won on points, not knockouts. Okay. The guy he's fighting, Farouk Korbanov, has 2 losses and 17 wins. They're fighting Wembley Arena, for anyone that wants to know. And Farouk Korbanov looks pretty good, to be fair. Let's have a look at his record. He has 17 wins, 2 losses, but only 3 knockouts. Oh, no, he's not going to be very good. As in, he's not going to be very good in terms of, he's not going to be very good in terms of his punch power. If you've only got 3 knockouts out of 17 wins, then most likely your punch power is pretty poor. And Joe Cordina, obviously, I think will have higher punch power. So if we're going to see a knockout, it's going to be from Joe Cordina. And the key questions that Matt Macklin's, one of the commentators, is asking is who has a greater experience? Will it go the distance? Which is to points, and is Cordina's inactivity an issue? So Cordina last fought. Oh wow! So he last fought the 30th of November, 2019. So it's been a year and 4 months. That's quite a long time out of the ring. So that will, I think we will see him be quite rusty at the start of this fight. But let's see. Let's see. Should be interesting. Should be an interesting watch. Let's see how it goes. And Cordina versus Korbanov is up. So guys, as well, we've got quite a few people in the chat. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe. Thank you very much. Larenk Doda, yes, Larenk. I think Larenk, were you here for the Florian Marku fight? I think you were, weren't you, mate? You were, I think. Hi, hello. Thank you very much for joining. Cordina walking to the ring, and as I said, he's been pretty inactive, hasn't fought for a year and 4 months, and his opponent is actually now in the ring, Korbanov. As I said, he's got a pretty impressive record. It's just his punch power's not really there. I mean, 3 knockouts from 17 wins is not great. Of course, he's lost twice again, which is not fan. Again, it's not terrible, but not great. Let's see the people he's lost to. Okay, so he's lost to 2 people with pretty good records, but the majority of his wins are against people with losing records, which means that this is going to be, it's going to go one of 2 ways. Because Joe Cordina is pretty inactive, it's either going to be a case of, you know what, Joe Cordina is going to knock him out early doors, or because he's so inactive, he's going to be rusty, and he'll have to find his feet. They'll knock him out, or he'll just completely outbox him, and it'll be a shutout. Laurent Doda says, "What do you think about next week, Chris Congo versus Michael McKinson?" That is a cracking fight, mate. Seriously, next week's card is absolutely beautiful. And for anyone that doesn't know, by the way, who is joining now, first of all, please like this video. Really appreciate it and subscribe. But second of all, for anyone that doesn't know, and I'm mentioning it because Lauren mentioned next week, I've actually interviewed a number of the fighters on the card next week, and I will be interviewing. I've got lined up when they're in the bubble some more interviews with them as well. So number 1, I interviewed Kane Baker, who's fighting Yusuf Kumvari. Interviewed him. I also interviewed JJ Metcalf, who's fighting Ted Cheeseman for the British super welterweight title as well. One of the guys I haven't interviewed is Chris Congo and Michael McKinson. I can tell you what, though, that is a fantastic fight, Laurent Doda. I think that's an absolute cracker. It's a welterweight fight, and I'm really looking forward to that. 2 unbeaten fighters. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait. Fingers crossed. It's going to be an absolute cracker. I really think it will be. In fact, some of the fights, I mean, JJ Metcalf versus Ted Cheeseman's going to be great. I think that's going to be a really, really good fight. And Kane Baker versus Yusuf Kumvari, I think it's going to be really good. And of course, the main event, right? Dylan White versus Alexander Povetkin, too. I mean, is it good? Oh, by the way, guys, for anyone watching as well, I'm going to be doing a live watch along for Povetkin versus Dylan White 2. And I'll probably be covering most of the card, if not all of it. But I'd probably be covering at least 4 of the fights, I'd assume. So most of the fights. I mean, it's pay-per-view, right? May as well. But yeah, that's a great fight, Lawrence. A really, really good question. And Lawrence, who do you think is going to win that fight? I'm kind of edging towards Chris Congo, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Because Michael McKinson is no joke. He's a slick operator. But I'll slightly edge towards Chris Congo in that fight. Yeah, so both fighters now in the ring, Joe Cordina and Farouk Korbanov. And guys, I should have a guest joining shortly as well, which should be good fun. So looking forward to him as well joining. I think he should be here for the main event at least, if not joining during this fight as well, which would be good fun. What do you guys think about the fight night so far? Have there been any surprises? Anyone that you thought has impressed you? Anyone that hasn't impressed you? And what do you think about Lawrence Okolie versus Glowacki? Because a lot of people write off Glowacki, which is incredible to hear because, yes, he has been inactive. The last time he fought was against Maris Bradis in that controversial loss. But he's a two-time world champion. He's no mug. He's only lost to Alexander Usyk and also to, as I said, Maris Bradis. And in addition to that, right, I mean, he's got a vast amount of experience. So it just is it's pretty crazy to hear people writing off Glowacki. And Lawrence Okolie has got power, but he doesn't have that depth of experience. And yes, I think Okolie is probably one of the favorites. He is the favorite, I think, going into. I would edge towards him, but I think it's like a 60-40, if maybe even 55-45. Glowacki is no mug, as I said. Joe Cordina now in the ring with Korbanov, and can't wait for this, for Korbanov even. And this is going to be an absolute cracker. Let's go. Let's go. Ring bell. The bell rings even. Oh, straight away. Korbanov comes in and Joe Cordina catches him with this ridiculous left hook. And whilst he's coming in, and it really gets Korbanov's respect, I think, there. This is going to be a good fight, I think, because Korbanov, obviously, with a lack of KOs, it makes me think that he's going to come forward and he's going to be throwing punches in bunches, which then leaves him open to a counter attack, right? To basically getting counter punched, which is what we just saw in that early exchange. Laurent Doda says, I think Michael's not going to be an easy one because this is the time for Congo to let people know if he is tough, because I also have some doubts about Congo. He has some history with Marku. Yeah, he does. So I think him and Marku, they both want to fight each other. I'll be interested to see if Congo comes through that. If they make that fight, Chris Congo versus Florian Marku, I think that would be a fantastic fight, to be honest with you. I think Florian Marku versus the winner of this fight winner of Michael McKinson versus Chris Congo would be an incredible fight. It really would. Joe Cordina just I think trying to feel his way into this fight. He obviously is someone who is experienced. He's an Olympian. He's got that amateur background that a lot of people respect, which is fair enough, and that's what you want. You want the type of experience that people are going to sit back and say, actually, we respect that experience. As Korbanov tries to throw a couple of combinations but doesn't land at all, as Joe Cordina avoids them. Joe Cordina trying to work on the inside. And now just both fighters trying to look for openings, seizing or sizing each other up even. As Korbanov jabs to the body. Cordina is someone who I think he's a very good fighter, but he's 29 and people forget that. I think he needs to be moved quicker now. He's had good learning fights. He's had some pretty good fights as well, but it's now a case of he's got to move quickly. He's a super featherweight, and it's just a case of he needs to now start moving through the weight classes a lot quicker. Well, not through the weight classes, but through the levels a lot quicker here, and this needs to be an impressive performance from him. If I was him, I'd be looking for the knockout. Of course, they always say don't look for the knockout. If it comes, it comes. But I think he'll be looking to make a statement here for sure. As his jab looks good at the moment, pretty sharp, and no real signs of kind of rustiness that you might have expected. I think maybe it also comes with the opponent he's facing in Korbanov, who, again, he's not a bad opponent. He's not got a terrible record, but if you look at the fighters that he's beaten, the majority have got losing records, nothing to kind of shout and scream about. And in addition to that, you can tell he doesn't really have the pop that some other fighters would have. So, yeah, I would say that was Joe Cordina's round, as round one ends, and we have a break in between rounds. Let me know what you guys think of Lawrence Okolie and the next fight, I guess the main event. I mean, what we're thinking, is Lawrence Okolie going to become a world champion? let me know. Let me know. Also, guys, in the chat, please do remember to like this video. It really does help. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, does help. If you have, thank you very much. You're all legends. Everyone for tuning in as well. Oh, Joe Cordina. Looking good here, to be fair. As I said, like, there's not really any signs of much rustiness anyway, for sure. And he's fighting in a pretty confident manner, as he would when you face someone who you probably don't respect their power, which I don't think he does. I think he's only been caught a couple of times from Korbanov and hasn't really affected him. And that's the difference, right? When you're someone who doesn't have the pop, you have to vastly rely on your movement and boxing ability, because unfortunately people can come forward and just walk you down because they don't respect your power. That kind of makes me think about Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo, because with Billy Joe, I think the biggest thing for me about that fight is if Billy Joe cannot earn Canelo's respect, like cannot earn his respect by having respectable power, then it's going to be an impossible fight to win. But if he can, if he has enough pop that Canelo respects it and thinks, I can't actually just walk him down, then we've got a fight. That's for sure. Then we've got a fight. I'm really looking forward to that fight as well, man. I'll be covering that. There's some really big fights coming up. Obviously, there's this fight night on today. Next week, it's Dylan White versus Povetkin, the rematch and card, which Laurent was mentioning. I will be covering that. There's also the Chisora Park card, which has got Chris Eubank Jr. on it. It's got Bivol on it. Bivol versus Craig Richards on it. And Taylor versus Jonas. Mate, I'll be covering that, no doubt, as well, on May 1st. And then we have two huge fights. One, which is Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. And the second is Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez. Bloody hell. Unbelievable fights, eh? Absolutely unbelievable fights to look forward to. It's a great schedule ahead as Joe Cordina just smothering Korbanov. And they touch gloves and he's just sizing. You can see it's very interesting, right? Especially at these lower weight classes. Like, I think he's super featherweight, isn't he? Yeah, he's super featherweight. At super featherweight, for example, because they're so much lighter, there's a lot more emphasis on boxing IQ and ability. Whereas as you go up the weight classes, because the power's there and there's more power, you don't rely as much. Of course, yeah, you've still got the skill sets, but in the lower classes, because they don't punch as hard, you have to really be extremely skilled. If anyone that doesn't know as well, go and watch Chocolatito. So one Francisco Estrada versus Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez 2 happened I think it was a week ago. I think it was a week ago. Go and check out that fight. Just incredible fight. Absolutely incredible fight. And if you want to really gain an appreciation for the lower weight classes and kind of understand how good in terms of ability and technical prowess these lower weight fighters have, then go and check it out. It's just unbelievable fight. And just technically incredible. Like, I probably need someone to sit down and walk me through step by step those fights, if I'm being honest with you. And just showing the highlights in the background. Glowacki getting wrapped up, getting his hands wrapped. Oh, I tell you what, this is not an easy fight. I just keep on saying it, and I really hope Lawrence Okolie wins it. I really do, but it's not going to be an easy fight, that's for sure. And round 3 begins here. Joe Cordina versus Korbanov. Everyone joining as well. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help. Thank you very much, you're legends. And Joe Cordina, I'm here. 1-2 there, just not catching clean. Korbanov's actually covering up quite well. He's not making himself a big target. He's making it hard. He's crouching down whilst covering up as well. And Joe Cordina has to be really pinpoint and is finding it hard to land flush and find those really big openings that he's looking for. So Very, very good stuff so far defensively from Korbanov to make sure that he's not getting caught with big shots as he goes for a really wild left hook. Joe Cordina ducks underneath it and then kind of does some, not heavy work, some substantial work on the inside, but again, not landing flush. I still feel like, even though I said he's not rusty, Joe Cordina, he hasn't quite got out of second gear yet. He's not really taking many risks here, which is fine, but is it going to be enough to just outbox Korbanov for him to get a bigger fight going forward? I don't know. Joe Cordina, just, yeah, there you go. Trying to size up any openings that Korbanov might have, but Korbanov is been pretty good, I think, at closing up, and really good movement there from Joe Cordina, just getting out of the ropes, slipping out of the ropes into now the middle of the ring, and now he's actually turned the tables. Korbanov on the back foot again, covering up, and his elbows are low as well, so there's not really many openings for Joe Cordina. He's going to have to make those openings. I think he's looking for kind of single shots, Joe Cordina, but he really needs to utilize his jab and open up, and prize open Korbanov's defense. I mean, that's the only way to do it, really. And at the moment, he's struggling to do it. So, yeah, Cordina is winning this fight pretty comfortably, but Korbanov's not making it easy for him in terms of landing flush and landing eye-catching shots. It's kind of work that's hitting the arms, the gloves, it's getting caught, and nothing like super impressive at the moment from Cordina. Some good defensive work and good movement, but I'm not, incredibly impressed by it so far. And we've got Kevel, who's joining as well. Let's chuck him on.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, good to be on.
Yeah, it's good. Joe Cordina is just on super featherweight. Hasn't fought in like a year and 4 months. I was just saying that the guy he's facing he's got 17 wins but only 3 knockouts. So he clearly doesn't have much punch power, I don't think.
Yeah.
But defensively, he's been covering up quite well, and Joe Cordina not really able to land flush so far. This is actually the last fight before the main event.
Nice.
So it should be good.
I'm just signing in to watch it now.
No worries. It's just we're just in between rounds here as well. Guys watching, please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Thank you very much. And let me know how you think the main event's going to go. We had a lot of people actually on here, Kev, talking about next week, which is obviously Dylan White versus Povetkin 2, which I said that I'll be covering, and hopefully you'll be on as well.
Yeah.
And there's some really good fights on the undercard as well, where I was saying that I've done interviews for the fighters, so looking forward to that. And fingers crossed, I should have the coach of one of the big names on the channel next week. So fingers crossed for next week. But yeah, it's in the works for him to come on, so I'm hoping I'll be able to do it, which will be nice. Oh, here we go. So Cordina on the inside, trying to open up and prize some, prize some openings there. But Korbanov's covering up well. Again, fires back with some of his own shots even. Joe Cordina, though, not getting caught. Again, he's been pretty good defensively as well. Very good head movement, actually, and using almost the kind of Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll at times, Joe Cordina. He does look very good defensively. He looks quite slick, just not being able to land those eye-catching shots as of yet. A couple of good uppercuts on the inside. A good jab from Korbanov, actually. Korbanov even, as well. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Couple of liver shots there from from Joe Cordina whilst they're in the clinch. And Joe Cordina, you can tell at this weight, it's super featherweight. These guys are so quick and technically astute, but maybe they don't carry the amount of punch power that they would normally, that you see in the higher weight classes, like we will see at cruiserweight in the next fight. As Joe Cordina tries to work on the inside again. He is getting success, but he's kind of landing on gloves and arms. Nothing really super clean. He's winning these rounds, but that's a good combination there from Korbanov, really actually landing clean to the body of Cordina. Very, very good stuff. Again, from Cordina here, just trying to, just trying to work on the inside, which is good. Oh, good jab there from Cordina through the guard. That's much better. That's what he needs to do. He needs to try and prize that opening that he's looking for, and the jab will help him do that so that he can come in and work off the jab. Oh, good stuff again. Very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Bat. In between rounds here. That's funny. They're showing Anthony Fowler. The Shane McGuigan, who's Lawrence Okolie's coach, for anyone that doesn't know, he's also trainer and coach to a lot of the fighters on this card. So Anthony Fowler for one, and also Chris Smith. So he's probably a happy bunny that he's managed to get multiple of his fighters onto one card. Makes his life a lot easier rather than having to kind of, well, one, it means that you can train fighters for one day and you can kind of have them all in camp at the same time. And two, it just means he doesn't have to split his time up as much. He still get paid the same amount. So it's beautiful. Probably ideal for a trainer, you'd imagine.
Okay.
Oh, good stuff from Korbanov there. Just a good combo. But as I said, I think Joe Cordina has probably won the majority, if not all, of these rounds. But it's not been super clean work from Joe Cordina so far. Joe Cordina just jabbing through the guard of Korbanov. Really good stuff there. Oh, good little combination there, but not landing flush Korbanov as well.
Right, finally signed into Sky, so here we go.
No worries. Oh, good. Oh, good little uppercuts there, but not really landing flush. 1-2 there from Cordina as well. Again, Korbanov even covering up quite nicely, I'd say. Doing a good job covering up. In fact,
So who have you got winning this one, Fazan?
the white shorts, Joe Cordina.
Right, okay. Is
I think
he's probably an underdog?
Yeah, the other guy is the underdog. The guy who I said doesn't really seem to have much punch power, but defensively, he seems to be pretty good. Does Korbanov, to be fair. Yeah. He looks pretty good. And Joe Cordina looks quite slick, but not quite being able to land flush at the moment. In fact, has Korbanov ever been knocked out? Let's have a look. He's lost 2 times. No, he's never been knocked out. So obviously he's a tough cookie. because the 2 losses he had were via points.
Yeah, the dark shorts guy looks already quite heavily beaten up. Really blushed face.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a big right hand there from Cordy. That one did land flush.
It's a scrap, isn't it? It's a slugfest.
Yeah. Yeah. Thing is, Kev, these lower weight classes, you love them because the action is like incredible. These guys throw so many punches.
Yeah, it's speed, isn't it? And they don't get knocked out easily, so they keep going for a while.
Yeah. There was an amazing fight last week. Estrada versus Chocolatito 2. I'll send you the highlights actually. Just watch the highlights. I think you'd love the highlights because it's just such a scrap. It's unbelievable. So good to watch.
Yeah, they really go for it. And because they're sort of like, I don't know, undercards, they really want to show themselves and try and go for the knockout. So they both just slug it out.
Yeah. Thing is that they're at the lower weight classes, they're all combination punches, right? And the kind of skill set, and the skill set needed is a lot higher than when you move up in the weight classes.
Yeah, they're not like Deontay Wilder going for one punch knockout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's multiple punches and like the skill level needed is a lot higher. It's funny though because obviously the heavyweights where the money is, but really the skill level's higher at the lower weight classes.
It has
but
to be,
everyone wants to see big knockouts, right? So, that's good. That was good 1-2 on the inside through the guard of Korbanov or Korbanov even. I keep getting his name wrong. And Korbanov trying to come back with his own, but completely misses. Bit wild there from him. This time doing a bit better, but Joe Cordian does the little shuffle, head shuffle too. Well, they do the like, well, how they do it?
They're trying to do the slips, isn't it?
Yeah, they're slipping basically. You know, like when you do it in the rope, you see them.
Yeah, that's what Tyson Fury did against,
that's basically what it is.
Yeah,
it's funny actually. It's funny because you see that the work that they do in the gym, right, where they go underneath the rope and stuff, and when you see it in the match, you think in a fight, you think, oh, yeah, I recognize that. It's quite cool.
Yeah, they must do that in training. Yeah. What are you on round 6, Fazan?
Yeah, round 6. I've got 1 minute and 55 left to go.
Okay,
So you're probably slightly in front ahead. Sorry, even.
I've got 2 minutes to go, but that's fine.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I can stop it in 1 second.
No, don't
that's right. Tell me when you're at 1:45. But yeah, Joe Cordina really in control of this fight. Now he's starting to land flush. Now he's starting to find openings. For sure. 1:45 yet?
No, I'm on 2:21.
Okay.
You don't need to pause that for me. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Just let me know because it'll be good.
Round 6, yeah.
Yeah, round 6. Just let me know. Hold on.
I'll let you know as soon as I hit 1:45.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, really, really good stuff from Joe Cordina. Interested to see if he can knock this guy out because he's never been knocked out, Korbanov. So that'd be quite impressive, for sure.
Okay, I'm at 1:48, 47, 46 now.
Okay. Mine skipped, so let me know when you're at 56.
That's all right.
But yeah, guys in the chat as well, thank you very much for joining. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Thank you very much. You're all legends. And let me know what you think of the main event. What's going to happen? Is Okolie going to become the Cruiserweight World Champion in his first attempt? Obviously, this is a really, really big fight, and I don't think Glowacki can be underestimated. He's only lost, Kevil, to Usyk.
Oh, really?
And Maris Bradis, who is now currently the kind of reigning world champion and seen as the #1 cruiserweight in the world. So he's lost to only the very best.
Yeah.
Has a Glowacki, and yeah, he's a bit inactive, but he's a 2-time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a very good fighter. And it's for the vacant WBO title. Are you at 56?
So I just passed it. I'm at 1:46 now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Let's have a look. Joe Cordina, all good, Jack. Oh, good combos from both there, to be fair.
You know when they just put their hands in front and then they just lean in, they're just trying to either taunt and go for it.
Yeah, you can tell.
White shorts must be up on points right now, right?
Yeah, Joe Cordina is up on points. He's probably won. It's hard to really give Corbinov one round, actually, if I'm honest with you.
Really?
I mean, they haven't been like, some rounds have been relatively close, but I think Joe Cordina has probably done enough in each round, if I'm being honest with you. The end of the round there for me.
Yeah, same for me.
Oh, fantastic. Just showing Lawrence Okolie as well. 1 second, lock my door. It's finished, really. The voice. Why? Oh, here we go. Round. You should mean round number 7, starting soon.
Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of research. Glowacki is not actually undefeated, so he's lost to Usyk, and yeah, as you said, Breedis. I don't know who that person is.
Maris Breedis is the well, at the moment he's the #1 cruiserweight in the world. So he's world champion, multiple world champion.
And this fight is at cruiserweight, right?
Yep, cruiserweight.
Nice.
Yeah. And Lawrence Okolie is so he's actually under management of Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua's management company.
Yeah.
So they Okolie's, he was actually inspired by Anthony Joshua, seeing him in the Olympics in 2012.
Nice.
Okolie was working at McDonald's.
No way.
And he was super overweight, and he basically inspired him, and so he took up boxing after that, and then he made the 2016 Rio Olympics.
Oh, nice.
Which is crazy.
In 4 years, he quit his job, and then did it?
Yeah, in 4 years, and he's only like, I think he's only a couple of years. He's 29, I think. So he's a couple of years younger than. He's only 2 years younger than Anthony Joshua, but he sees him as like a big brother, and Anthony Joshua took him on, and basically, like oversees his career.
Yeah, it's his job.
Yeah, which is amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible that he was inspired by Anthony Joshua, seeing him in the Olympics. So yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, his first professional was only 4 years ago, 2017. Well, 4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they moved him quickly, for sure.
Yeah, but this is his test, because if I'm being honest, I don't know these guys on his scorecard that he's beaten, or not that well anyway.
Yeah, so this is a jump up for him. It's a step up.
Yeah.
It's a step up for sure. Oh, Joe Cordina working on the inside there. Good defensive stuff there from Joe Cordina as well. Bat bat. I love the bat bat. You hear that with the lower weight classes because they're punching fast. Like bat bat bat.
You hear the sort of like the wind movement of the gloves, isn't it? When it, I think it's also because there's no crowd, so you hear it well.
Exactly, yeah. That's why you hear them breathing so heavily as well between rounds. Because,
you know how tough the sport is.
Well, yeah, because normally like you have a crowd, right? So you can't hear it, and that's why a lot of people at the start when they're doing behind closed doors, they're like, "Oh my god, they're exhausted." And like, no, it's just because they're
it's a sport. Yeah,
that's just they're just heavy breathing between every round because it's just a tough sport.
Yeah. Well, that's why, when you're exhausted and you're taking big hits, it's easier to get knocked out, isn't it? Because it's like you can't breathe properly, and you're sort of
you're using up more oxygen. Yeah, trying to breathe. Oh, Joe Cordina there, still moving pretty well. He doesn't look tired at all, to be fair.
Yeah, he actually doesn't.
He looks very fresh. He was also a 2016 Olympian as well, Joe Cordina. So part of that 2016 team with Lawrence Okolie.
I got David Hay.
Oh yeah, David Hay. Yeah. Look how he's dressed. What the hell's wrong with him? Like a hippie.
He's retirement mode.
Yeah.
He looks a lot older, but I think he's just a grey beard.
It's because of his beard, yeah. His grey beard.
I've never seen him with a grey beard. That's the first.
He's so funny, man. So David Hay saying there that he thinks after Evander Holyfield and himself, David Hay, he thinks that Lawrence Okolie will be the one to win a world title at cruiserweight and then move up to heavyweight and win a world title as well.
Really?
Yeah, so he obviously really rates him. Lawrence Okolie, by the way, punches hard. Kev, he punches really hard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, looking at his knockouts, I'm sure he does.
He got a huge right hand, and he's very tall as well. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, that's tall for a cruiserweight, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's knocked down most of his opponents, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. That's so relevant. It's got Joe Cordina played football for Cardiff, schoolboys, and rugby for the Blues. Like, what relevance does that have?
Tried every single sport.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think a lot of these guys who make it pro to one of the sports, normally they're so talented that they can play like 3 different sports and they have to just choose one.
It's sort of trial and error. Like, you have to have natural athleticism, like stamina.
Yeah.
And every sport needs stamina and agility, I guess.
Yeah, it's stamina, agility, and good hand-to-eye coordination.
Yeah.
That's like the key is hand-to-eye and like good coordination. Because if you've got that, then you can normally excel in most sports if you really apply yourself. Joe Cordina working on the inside here. Good uppercuts as well there. Looking pretty good is Joe Cordina. And I think I can't really see him knocking out Korbanov. There haven't been any wobbly points yet anyway. I can see this being a shutout victory for Joe Cordina. And a pretty impressive performance from him so far. Has to be said. Considering, I thought he might look a little more rusty. Yes, it is a tune-up fight. This isn't a big fight, but still, it's still a very good performance so far, and a comprehensive performance at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, Korbanov really going for that with that very ferocious combination there. But as you can see, Joe Cordina not phased whatsoever. So he clearly doesn't have that type of power to really phase someone.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Very good 1-2 there. Former Korbanov looking a lot better there for sure. Oh.
You can tell they're exhausted and they're still trying to sort of show their boxing ability.
You know what it is? It's like a lot of the times when they're clinching, they're trying to take a breather so that they can kind of just recharge.
Yeah.
And boxers, because it's very hard to punch throughout a whole round at like a frenetic pace.
They must be exhausted, yeah. And even when they train, they probably don't push themselves this hard because, they're not expected to take punches like this from a professional. So they probably get more tired in the real fight.
Very, very good. Something to look at very good jab to the head and then the body there from Cordina, and a couple of good uppercuts in that last round as well. Very sharp actually with some of his work, for sure, and quite accurate.
It's good combinations by Cordina.
Yeah.
Because the other guys were like one punch and then getting tired.
Yeah, I mean, the other guys, Korbanov's trying to throw punches, but in bunches, but it's not really landing flush. Whereas Joe Cordina, when he is throwing, he's throwing and his accuracy is there, I think, which it was the difference, I think, between the two fighters right now. Yeah. The kind of quality of work. Korbanov definitely, he's a tough cookie though. Hasn't really looked hurt at any point. Joe Cordina has caught flush with a few shots in the last few rounds. The work's been cleaner, I think, from Cordina as openings have arisen. And Cordina definitely looks like he's going to come out in this match in pretty Wow, very,
It
very
looks wide,
convincing
the
fashion.
scorecard.
Yeah, very convincing fashion for sure.
Korbanov's done well to hang in there because he looked pretty tired from like midway to the fight. Like
Yeah, he
very
did.
red, flushed up.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, for sure.
And like he's just covered up now. He's just covered up. He's not really doing much.
Good left hook to the body there from Cordina as a Korbanov just dancing around. I think trying to get out of range before he gets decked. I think probably he's thinking that hurt. I'm gonna jog it off. Try and get some adrenaline pumping. Cordina. Oh, good jab, good double jab there from Cordina as well through the guard of Korbanov. Oh,
good
right hand.
Oh.
Very good right hand from Korbanov. And that's another good right hand from
Go for
Korbanov.
it.
I'll tell you what, if he had power, that would have troubled Cordina. Those two right hands, because he caught him flush. They were accurate shots. Good body shot as well from Korbanov as well. Two very good eye-catching right hands there from Korbanov for sure.
Yeah.
Joe Cordina trying to respond with some work of his own on the inside as they kind of lock heads and look to dig to the body and through the guard with uppercuts. Oh, Cordina just needs to cover up a bit. I think maybe he knows he's up on the cards, which is fine, but you don't want to get caught with unnecessary shots.
Yeah, you'd rather lose on points than knockout, I guess, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. For sure. Oh, swinging wildly there. Korbanov trying to go for the haymaker, but doesn't quite land. I think he knows he's down the card, so the last round he'll come out swinging. I think Korbanov, because why not? To lose either way.
You think he'd risk like getting himself knocked out and just going for it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because most fighters, right? They have like, I just want to go out my. I want to try my best. Like, if they're in the ring, they think, well, I need to give it everything. So there's been a lot of fights, Kevin, in history where people are down on the cards quite convincing, and they know they are, and then they get this ridiculous knockout.
Yeah, because they have to go
in the last round because they go for it, right? They just go for it, and the other guy gets cocky, or they just come up with this unbelievable shot.
But they must be exhausted, which is why it's really hard to go for it, right?
Yeah,
but I know that's the sport; it's what they've trained for.
Yeah, for sure.
These guys don't take seats either in their corners; they just stay standing.
Yeah, these guys. No, he is Joe Cordina. I think it just varies fighter to fighter. I think some fighters don't like sitting down because maybe especially if they're really tired as well, they struggle maybe to get up after.
Yeah,
you're like when you kind of go and lie down in your bed, and then that's it. You don't want to get up. It might be something to that. Little hug there of a kind of acknowledgement and respect. As these guys into the last round, Joe Cordina, I think he's won probably 8 out of the 9 rounds so far. And yeah, good right hand there for sure. As Korbanov looking himself, I think, to land as well. Let's see who can end the fight the strongest. Cordina here almost stalking Korbanov, trying to back him into a corner so that he can kind of unleash those combinations as he tries to do it here, but Korbanov covering up quite nicely there. Well, that's better. That's round the guard from Cordina. That's quite a big, heavy shot. Right hook there. Oh. Oh, good stuff. Good left hook, just clipping Korbanov, but not flush though. Oh, good left hook from Korbanov of his own.
I think Korbanov is actually getting these good punches, but he's just not got power in them. He's never going to get the knockout now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I mean, his record suggests that he doesn't really have the power. I think the accuracy in some of the punches is there, but as you said, like if you're landing them and if you're down on points, you need that power to like be the equalizer. But he doesn't have it. He can't really hurt Cordina, which is the issue. As Cordina hits the body there, And Korbanov, I mean, look, to be fair to him, he's a warrior. He's stuck in there the whole time. He's been very resilient. Hasn't got hurt at all. He's obviously got a good chin, but doesn't really have the powers, unfortunately.
Have there been any knockdowns in this fight?
No knockdowns.
No. Yeah, they're just slugging it out in the last minute. Just show themselves, go out on their shoulder or whatever, however they say it.
Yeah, God, should, yeah. As a Cordina here, double jab. Oh, good combination there. Good right hand from Korbanov. Actually catching Cordina, but again, Cordina doesn't look phased whatsoever. You know, that's caught him flush. Good kind of volley combination there from Korbanov again as Cordina. I mean, there's some really good work going in here from both fighters towards the end here. Oh, good uppercuts there. Oh, good left hook from Korbanov. That's a really good left hook. But again, Joe Cordina doesn't look phased.
That's not going to do it. Not.
It makes me think that Korbanov's got pillow fists. That's what makes me think.
And this weight division as well, it's less likely to get a knockout.
I think, you're less likely to get a knockout with a single punch. And they shake hands and hug, but I think this is a very convincing win for Joe Cordina, for sure, as he takes his mouth guard out. But I think this is, this is a pretty convincing win.
You know, for these sort of fighters that are trying to make it, it's interesting to see what happens to their careers. Like if they take a loss. So, for example, Korbanov, he's taking a loss now. How bad does this start to his career?
I mean, he's already taken 2 losses, so I don't think it'll be too bad. I mean, he'll be in there as a tune-up fight, which this is for Cordina.
Yeah,
this is a stay busy fight. It's not a fight where they're expecting Cordina to win, basically.
Yeah.
So he's coming as the opponent. It's not like a world title fight or a fight that's going to give him a good ranking, etc. It's just he's been so inactive, so they thought let's put him in with someone who's going to be durable, which Korbanov was, I guess.
Yes.
Well, let's see now the big fight coming up. Okolie. Did you know Okolie has made his own song?
Oh, really?
Called TKO. Yeah.
So he really did try a lot of things out, isn't it, before coming to boxing?
No. As in, he's done it in the whilst boxing. He's
in lockdown.
Released in the last few months. Yeah.
An official song.
Yeah, called TKO.
Nice.
It's like a rap song. It's quite funny.
I have to listen to it.
I'll send it to you. Actually, I think it's on YouTube. Apparently, they're going to see if they can. they're going to see if he can walk out to the song, which is hilarious. Imagine if you walk out to your own song and then you got knocked out. That would be terrible. That'd be like ultimate humiliation, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just imagine, like you walk out to your own song like all hyped, like I'm the man, and the next thing you know you get knocked out.
Yeah.
That would be a shock there. And here we go. We can see. Kev, can you see that really big guy in the picture?
Yeah, the tall guy.
Yeah, the really big. No, the guy just sat down. The Asian guy with the beard.
Oh, him. Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed him on the channel. He's a sports doctor.
Oh, is that him? That's the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I recognize him. I recognize him from the that you interviewed him. He's the one that was talking about all the stuff that like some of the crazy stuff that these boxers do. Isn't it? That's really cool. Is this the first time you've seen him on like Sky Sports through the channel, as in on TV?
I've seen him before, but I didn't recognize him obviously because why would I? I'll just see him as a guy, but because obviously I've interviewed him, I knew that one of his fighters is on the show.
Yeah.
I knew that he would be there, so then I was like, "Oh, it's him." I followed him on Instagram as well, so he was on his story.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, it's quite funny. I was like, "Yeah."
It's good.
Yeah. So also next week, hopefully, the trainer for one of the big fighters next week, I should have on.
Nice.
So that'll be good if I can get him on. Oh. Ooh. There was someone
Voted.
scored it a draw.
Yeah,
So the
that's strange.
scorecards were 98-93 to Cordina, 96-95. So
That's quite
again, that
tight.
was very close, and 96-96. I didn't think he was that close.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, I mean, I only watched half of it, so I can't really felt for the first half. I don't know how that went.
The first half was more Cordina than the second half, I'd say.
Oh, really? Okay, so that might have balanced it. Actually, I don't know.
I would have thought Cordina won that pretty convincingly. That's what I was watching. I mean, I wasn't really listening to the commentary, so there wasn't any bias there either. I just kind of was watching it thinking.
Yeah, I thought it was definite for Cordina.
I thought he won it by a few rounds, maybe like 2 or 3 rounds there, but interesting that someone gave it a draw. Fair enough. I guess all that matters is that you got the win, I guess.
Let's see what good old Tony Benny's got to say about it.
Did you know Tony Bellew is on OnlyFans?
What's OnlyFans?
Do you not know what it is?
I've heard of it. Is it like adult website or something?
I think, yeah. So, yeah, but it's not just for that now. So people are making fun of it, but he's basically got his own. You can use it for whatever, right? So it's like a subscription for him where you can get access to like his meal plans and all sorts. But obviously, OnlyFans was originally used for that.
Yeah.
So that's why people are just like, "What the hell?" So he's on it. It's so funny. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about it. I don't know what it's about, but yeah, interesting. Yeah, it depends what he uses it for. He's got a wife and kids, so I don't see him do anything dodgy.
No. It's not that. It's like his meal prep plans and stuff, and you can pay for it. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The big one's coming up. Lawrence Okolie versus Krzysztof Glowacki for the WBO Cruiserweight World Title. Is Lawrence Okolie going to walk out to his own rap song? That's what we want to know. Oh, God. I'll crack up so much if he does. It'll be so funny. To be honest, Kev, if he does, then you don't even need to worry about listening to it because you'll hear it anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, hilarious. It is amazing, though, that he was working at McDonald's. He saw Anthony Joshua at the Olympics. He was like, you know what? I fancy a bit of that. And then obviously he was really overweight as well. So he loses weight, makes the Olympics in 4 years. So he just starts boxing. And then in 4 years' time, next thing you know, he's already in the Olympics. Unbelievable story. And now another 4 years later, so he's only had 16 fights. And he's now going to fight for the world title. It's ridiculous rise. Dude is ridiculous.
Yeah. I always wonder, like, how for someone working at McDonald's, how do they just transition to being able to train full time for boxing? Like, do they just have you need the money for that and that ambition, the risk aperture for it, right? To do that.
But to be fair, Kev, like, in boxing, right? If you think about it, boxing is a very, very low cost sport.
You think?
What do you need?
You need a trainer. So you need to pay a trainer, surely, when you're starting.
But before you've even got that, you can just go to an amateur club
and just train yourself.
You can go to an amateur club and you don't pay your amateur coach.
Okay.
It's through the GB system.
Oh, is that how? I don't know how it works. It's like a gym membership type thing where you have to get some sort of membership. Because think about how many people would want to sort of train to be a boxer. Like there'd be a lot.
But the boxing gyms are really, really cheap. Like really, really cheap.
And the amateur ones, okay.
Yeah, it's not like your Nuffield and Lloyd's.
Yeah, I always thought like you have to pay some sort of membership because surely loads of people.
It's really, really cheap because what's in there is, if you think about it, there's a ring, there's a couple of bags, pads, and that's it, and gloves, right? And you got like skipping ropes.
Okay.
You can do your groundwork outside. You can do your skipping really by yourself. Your strength and conditioning you can do again by yourself. You don't necessarily need to even use weights. You can use bands and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of boxers do. Like it's not as high tech as something like, I don't know, tennis or whatever. It's pretty low. It's pretty low tech in that sense, and I think he got picked up. So
the way that he was good, they must have noticed him and like given him something.
So the way that he got picked up, Kev, is So he was working at McDonald's, but he went to university, and he basically, so Bucks, which is like British University, what was it? I don't know, something. Basically, it's the league that you have at universities, like they would have had it at Brighton as well.
Yeah.
Which is all sports, and so they have Bucks for boxing, and he basically won Bucks for the whole of the UK.
Okay.
In boxing, basically, and that's how he got picked up for GB, basically.
Right, I see.
Yeah, and then he didn't complete his third year because he was like, "Oh, I'm going to do boxing full time." But he was there for a couple of years, and basically that's how he actually got picked up by GB on an amateur setup through boxing for university.
It's really cool.
Which is cool. And he basically just picked up boxing for university because he saw Anthony Joshua and was like, sick. Lost a bit of weight lost a bit of weight and was like, I want to try out boxing. Next thing you know, he finds out he's got immense power and he's like, sick.
Yeah. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone has that in them to be able to.
No. You need a certain drive, don't you?
It's not
and also, you need the natural ability as well, I think.
Yeah, I think. Because otherwise he would have lost his fights early if he didn't have that.
Yeah.
Like he had the height, probably genetics to be able to pull it off.
For sure.
Good old DW on screen now.
Yeah, Dylan White. Look at him. He's shaved all his hair off.
So when's it's next week, isn't it?
Next week, bruh. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, man. Oh, I'm talking to him now. He's so funny. Have you seen his interviews with Coogan recently?
Some of them, not the recent ones, the older ones.
So basically, like he keeps on asking him, like, "Oh, what do you think about AJ Fury?" And he just like refuses to answer it. Like he literally like pretends as if he doesn't know what Coogan's asking him. It's bizarre, right? So as in, if I'm like to you, Kev, "Oh, what do you think about AJ Fury?" and you would just be like, "What? What are you saying?" Sorry, I didn't hear you. It's breaking up. And like he basically just he just wants to pretend as if like it's not a thing. And then eventually, on the second interview, Coogan kept on pressing him.
Yeah.
And Law was like, "Oh, you're being a big baby," because obviously they've got a type of friendship.
Yeah.
And eventually he was like, "Look, I'm not worried about that. I'm just concentrating on myself because I need to win my fight."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Look, that's fair enough. But why didn't you just say that the first time?" I was like, "I really like him," but I was like, "You should have just said that straight away when he asked him, and he would like you would have understood." And like that's a fair enough point. But like he had to be so like weird about it, and I'm like, it's so funny. He just cracks me up sometimes. He's a strange guy, but a good character for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Looking forward to seeing him out though. That'll be a war.
Yeah,
for sure. Lawrence Okolie. No, that's not how they sing it. That's not how they sing it, is it?
Haha.
Do you remember when we were watching the AJ fights and like, "Sweet Caroline"?
Yeah, they always sing that. Is that like? Do they play that? Do they sing that in front of every main event?
It's every matchroom card.
Matchroom. Okay.
It's a matchroom started it basically.
Yeah.
So good, so good, so good.
And is Glowacki the underdog in this, I assume?
He's right. Okay, so he's supposed to be, but I don't think he's only the undercard because sorry, he's only the underdog because the bookmakers have made him it, but he shouldn't really be. This is really a 50-50
because he's
fight.
taken some losses.
It's not well. It's just because there's a lot of hype around Okolie, but it's a step up. I'm telling you now, it's a big step up, and also because Glowacki hasn't fought since 2019, so he's been out in the ring for like a year and a half. So he's been a bit inactive. You know what's funny, Kev, is that so when we went to see Alexander Povetkin versus Anthony Joshua, Lawrence Okolie was on the undercard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he fought Matty Askin. The reason why you probably don't remember it is because it was like a hug fest. It was a really boring fight. Do you remember
that.
Yes, yeah. You know when like everyone was like, "What the hell is this?"
We were booing. That was just before. That was one before the main event, wasn't it? And we were all booing that because it was a slugfest. No way. That was Okolie. That was him.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not sure if I want. I think he's gonna win. Based on, I remember that performance really well.
So that was 3 years ago. So that's only a year into his professional career. But he was very, very like unrefined, which is why he hugged a lot because people were scared of his power. So as soon as they came into range, they'd hug him, and then he'd just be like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." But now, since he's had his new trainer, Shane McGuigan, so in his last fight, last 2 fights have been very good.
Yeah,
Like he hasn't hugged at all, and which has been good. He hasn't like clinched at all. So yeah, because on that card was Sergey Kuzman versus David Price.
this is Chamberlain, isn't it? Chamberlain, he fought.
No, it was Matty Askin versus Lawrence Okolie.
Askin, in 2018.
Yeah. And then we saw Luke Campbell versus Ivan Mendy. Do you remember?
Yes, Mendy won that.
Nah, he didn't. But you thought it was close. I remember you thought it was close.
I thought Mendy won that, yes. But Mendy won it the first time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And then the one that I saw with
I'm just cracking up. You reminded me of that slug, that hug fest. I was like, yeah. No.
I remember because we were watching like, what the hell is this? I remember
I don't know who he was. Yeah,
the guys around us were like getting so pissed. They were like, they were just like, because a couple of people. Yeah, he has. He's improved a lot. But a lot of guys around us, because they were like drunk and stuff, and they had a few. They were so angry. They're like, what's this? Like effing and blood. And they're like, what is this rubbish? Blah blah blah. And I was just like, lol, so funny, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I watched. Oh mate, wow.
What?
So I watched. I went to the Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker fight with Venu.
Yeah, I remember. That was before the Wembley one that we went to, isn't it?
Yeah. So we watched. So Joe Cordina was on that card. We just watched against Hakim Ben Ali. Oh, interesting. And we also watched Josh Kelly versus Carlos Molina, Anthony Crolla versus Edison Ramirez, Ryan Burnett, who I interviewed. How the hell can I forget that?
He was on that one as well.
Yeah, he's he's a unified world champion, so he won multiple world titles.
You should have mentioned that to him when you went to see him.
Mate, I completely forgot. That's so embarrassing, that. That would have been good to drop in. Yeah, I completely forgot for some reason. But yeah, Ryan Burnett.
When you were there, you wouldn't have known who he was at the time because you would
not at the time because I was a bit of a noob at the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We watched 9 fights on the night, so
you watched all of them, yeah.
Yeah, and Alexander Povetkin versus David Price, where David Price got completely decked by Alexander Povetkin.
As a brutal. Do you know what cracked me up when I rewatched that Price versus Price versus Povetkin? The first comment recently was Price lasted longer than White. You know
what's funny, right?
Round 5, yeah.
If you watch that fight, Price hits Povetkin, and Povetkin, the ropes save him.
Yeah, so he got knocked down technically.
Yeah, like the ropes. He's lucky the ropes were there, man. Because I tell you what, if he'd been knocked out like further away from the ropes, he would have been on the floor on his back. That knockout was brutal. Sorry,
he would have still got up and won because it's not because he still got he still got counted out as a knockdown. The referee jumped in. He gave him an 8 count.
But the ropes help you, right? Because you kind of.
It would have just made a tiny bit of energy, I think. I don't think it would have made a significant difference.
Yeah,
and if I'm being honest, Povetkin more lost footing rather than being hurt by the looks of it.
You think? I thought he got absolutely blitzed because he was like stumbling back. But yeah, maybe.
But then he knocked him out pretty recklessly.
The knockout was crazy because he'd already knocked him out with the first punch, and then
he was out on the feet. That's what
David Price was like out on his feet, like he was completely out of it. He was going to fall over anyway. And Povetkin's like, just for good measure, left hook.
He's entitled to do that until.
I know. But it's just when you see it on the replay, it just looks so like cold-blooded.
His hands are down, and the commentator was like, "Yeah, it's silly, really. That's just a free punch for Povetkin." Like, no shit. That's how it works.
I think they were actually having a go at the referee. They're like, "Why is the referee not jumping in?"
To be fair, it's like when you watch it back in slow motion, it's easy to think, "Oh, he should have stepped in," but in real time, it's quite difficult to judge that.
Let's see. What's Okolie walking out to?
Is that his song?
I don't know. If it has TKO in it, then it is. Have a listen. And let me update the banner actually as well.
Yeah, I think it is because it's got him on the screen, sort of vapping.
Yeah, he's. Oh my god.
Just
Can you hear it? Hold on.
I've actually got my volume off to avoid echo.
Oh, very good. Oh, hilarious, man. Seriously. That's so funny. Thing is, I just really hope he wins, because if he doesn't, that's so embarrassing. Like walking out to your own song and then you get knocked out, that would be shocking. Right, Okolie versus Glowacki, guys. Here we go. Live on Sky Sports. I just love the commentators. The feature bout of the evening.
Yeah.
The Cruiserweight Championship of the World. That's basically how they speak.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
It's like Lawrence Okolie versus Glowacki for the WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the World.
Yeah, they have to hire the perfect voice for that bit.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's pretty good presentation.
Lawrence Okolie is sponsored by Boohoo Man. If you didn't realize, Kev as well on his shorts,
Yeah.
he's got Boohoo Man on it.
I'm sure they paid him good money for that.
Yeah,
So
he models for Boohoo Man, I think.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I swear all the
Really
like the Love Island influencers love for Boohoo Man to do a lot of promotion.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see them a lot.
I thought isn't Boohoo Man, wasn't it originally for like plus size guys?
I don't know, but not anymore. It's for everyone. If you go online, it's not. There's Boohoo Girl, Boohoo Man, but no, I think it's for everyone. Because imagine how little business you get just for plus size people.
Well, yeah, I thought originally it was. I know it probably changed, but I think it was. Yeah. Right, here we go, mate. This is the biggie. I'm really looking forward to this fight. He looks in good shape, Glowacki, to be fair.
Yeah. He looks quite slim, though.
He looks trim, yeah.
I don't know if how that'll affect him.
That's not always a bad thing, though, to be trim.
Yeah,
So
it just depends how badly, if he takes a big hit from Okolie, he could then.
So this was originally going to be on the undercard for the AJ Pulev fight.
Oh, right.
It's going to be the main undercard, but he got COVID, Glowacki, so they moved it back, which is why it's on today.
Oh, nice. Well, at least he got a main card now.
Exactly, yeah. The main event. Here we go. Come on, Lawrence Okolie. 15 fights, 15 wins, 12 knockouts. He's only 28, so he's 3 years younger than Anthony AJ Joshua.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, what do you think, Kev? What's your prediction?
To be fair, I haven't really seen too much of these guys, so it's hard to say.
Judging on Lawrence Okolie's hugging fest against Matty Askin,
I want to say Glowacki, but then I don't know. Glowacki's had a couple of losses. It's really interesting to see. Okolie's got a slight height advantage, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got power advantage as well. So let's see. This is a big step up. I'm going to go Lawrence Okolie round 9.
I think Okolie, based on his knockout power, could win this.
Well, this is going to be
he's southpaw, Okolie. I didn't know that.
No, Glowacki is southpaw.
I mean, yeah, so that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Glowacki.
So the right hand, which is Okolie's biggest shot, is going to be really effective. If you're going to land it, bloody hell, it's going to be good night. if you land his flush anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. Yeah, there you go. Been out the ring for 21 months. Glowacki, bloody hell. Long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's almost 2 years.
Yeah. Come on, Lawrence. You'll see, it's funny because when we watched fights normally with the Orthodox and Southpaws, you'll see occasionally the legs get tangled. Right?
Yeah, they look like they're stepping on each other's feet a little bit.
Yeah, that'll happen early doors as they try and establish distance. You can see, look, Glowacki is obviously really well schooled, you can tell.
I don't know. Glowacki looks very precautious.
Yeah, because he's cautious
like,
of Okolie's power, right? I think he's respecting him.
He doesn't look that confident. That's just the way I see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking. He looks way too precautious already.
A lot of the times, the first round is a feed-out round, right? So a lot of the times, fighters will feed out in the first round, and after that, once they've been able to understand what the other guy has, and then they come out and a bit more proactive after the first fight. It's good, right? Short right hand from Lawrence Okolie, or good jab as well. Lawrence Okolie and Glowacki. This round, I'd say so far to Lawrence. I think both though really just feeling out the round so far. Or good attempted flurry there from Glowacki, not really landing flush though, as Okolie looks to kind of land his own short right hand as Glowacki comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Okolie trying to.
Oh, yeah, punching on the inside.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Try and get the punch. Oh, yeah, he got told off.
He was punching on the back of the head, that's why.
They tried to touch gloves to sort of justify that.
Touch gloves, there you go. Oh, that's all right. It's all right. Punch in the back of the head.
It's fine. Yeah, you understand.
It's like Hergovic, remember? He was punching in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Oh, carnage. Oh, Okolie there looking. He's looking for that right hand. He just needs to set up nicely, though, not throw it too often because it can become predictable. It's interesting. The right hand he's throwing, Kev, a lot of times it's not like a straight one. It's one that's like coming from his hip. It's almost like an uppercut, but it's a looping uppercut almost.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a proper structured punch. He's just going for it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's actually deliberate because he did it a few times, but it's quite unorthodox. It's almost like an angled, a kind of looped uppercut. And it's almost like he's trying to throw it when Glowacki's unawares almost, which is quite interesting.
I think it's because of Glowacki's height and also because Glowacki's dipping quite low anyway, so he has to punch it down a bit. So maybe back works well for him. It's like a hook mix with a slight uppercut almost.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably the case actually.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's actually a very good point. Let's have a look here, actually. Yeah. Not really much in that round, but I think if I had to call it, I'd say Lawrence Okolie just edging it with a few more eye-catching punches, a couple of good right hands. Glowacki very cautious, as you were saying, Kev, as well. But I think we'll see him come out of his shell this round as Okolie with a good little combination there. Glowacki falling into Okolie. And Okolie, you can tell, learned from obviously that Matiaskin fight, Kev, pushing Glowacki off him, wanting to hold him, wants to work on the inside, and he's working on his game there for sure. You can see Glowacki just good head movement, trying to see if he can find an opening, and Okolie just keeping him at range, really. Interesting. And also, so Glowacki's power punch is going to be that backhand, right? Which is going to be the left hand, either the left hand straight.
Yeah.
The big left hand, or it's going to be a left hook even. Sorry. So Okolie's trying to cover up his right chin, which is what he needs to make sure he's doing, and make sure that Glowacki can't get around that guard. Good jab to the body there. Interesting. Oh,
Oh, they're slugging it out a bit. Oh, that was a headbutt. That was a headbutt there.
do you think? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh god.
Referee's
Telling
very
him off. He's like, stop headbutting Okolie. And he's like, yes, sir.
Don't disqualify me.
Yeah, exactly. Good jab there from Okolie. Just trying to, you can tell he's just trying to establish distance. Good
Coley's
jab to the body. And
smaller guy, he can reach a bit better.
exactly, and he can kind of have more authority on the outside. And you can see he's trying to, he's got such long arms, Lawrence Okolie, so he's trying to jab to the body there because Glowacki is, as you said, he's crouching and making himself smaller. So jabbing to the head is good, but oh, that's a good right hand in there. Glowacki tries to counter with the right hand of his own. Doesn't quite land that one though. That's a dangerous shot there.
Glowacki is struggling with distance. I think he's also scared if he gets close or get caught.
The thing is, it's difficult because, you know, with the reach advantage of Lawrence Okolie, he's able to just kind of box from the outside, and then when he wants to come in, he can selectively. But as long as he's established his jab from the outside, then it makes Glowacki think twice about coming in.
Yeah, Glowacki's really struggling to get his range.
What do you think? Okolie round?
Yeah, Okolie round.
I think he just edged that, to be fair.
I just don't think Glowacki actually landed anything significant or even trying. I think he just tried to stay really wary of being caught.
I think maybe we'll see that, you know, for maybe another round, but I think eventually he doesn't want to be in a position where he's we're 6 rounds in and he doesn't really have a single round under his belt, I think. So let's see how this one goes. Okolie so far looks pretty comfortable, I would say. He's still adapting as well to Glowacki. It's difficult because it is a step up, so to kind of expect Okolie to just come out and blast Glowacki in the first couple. You can see that, so it's like a swinging right hook to the body almost from Okolie, which he's trying to utilize, which is quite a good shot to throw. Good couple of jabs there from Lawrence Okolie. Good right hand and left hand from Glowacki. Very good actually, and Okolie kind of, I think he felt that, and again goes into the back foot. He kind of fell into those shots there. It's a good combination from Glowacki. Good left hand again, and Glowacki, as I said, Kev, I think he's starting to come out of his shell.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good jab there from Okolie.
Okolie's punching a bit more now.
I think he's realizing he has to keep Glowacki off, because Glowacki is now becoming more adventurous.
I feel like Glowacki just doesn't know what to do. Like, he's only really sort of trying to go for counters only rather than launching punches.
But sometimes you have to do that, right? Especially for the smaller guys. So counter punching is not a bad game plan, but you've got to counter punch accurately and at the right times, so you don't leave yourself open as well.
Yeah.
Because trying to out jab Okolie is just not the right game plan, because he doesn't have the distance and the reach to do it. So he has to be smart about how he boxes. I'm assuming counter punching is quite a big part of that. Good jab there from Okolie again. Just sizing each other up here, not just both looking for openings. As Okolie goes jab and left hook, doesn't really land flush. Just clips Glowacki.
Yeah.
And this is more of an even round. A couple of good jabs there from Okolie.
I think Okolie's still. Glowacki. Look at Glowacki like trying to scrap on the inside.
Yeah.
I feel like Glowacki, he only when they clench, he's trying to really go for it, because that's the only safe time you can really land on him.
So at the start of the round, he threw a couple of good eye-catching shots, but since then, I agree. I don't think he's been that's a good combination there.
Yeah,
from
Glowacki
Okolie
looks too
body.
precautious. He doesn't want to go for it. He's probably got that like second stance where he's like crouching down.
Take his stance. Oh. Crouch roll.
Yeah, he was like jumping kick.
Cody here, he's trying to establish with the jab. He needs to utilize that more and then just work off the jab. That's what he should be doing. The majority of the time, he's just working off that jab.
Yeah.
Lawrence Okolie.
And I think it's someone like Glowacki, he should be used to fighting people in orthodox stance, right? He knows that most people are orthodox. So this isn't like anything new for him. This is what he's used to. If anything, it's Okolie who should be sort of struggling because he's probably fought mostly orthodox rather than southpaw.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree. And in addition to that, like it's a bigger step up for Okolie, right? I mean, Glowacki's fought flipping Bradis and Usyk. I mean, Usyk is one of the best cruiserweights ever.
Yeah, yeah.
In some people's eyes, he is the best cruiserweight ever. So, yeah. I mean, the guy is a beast, and Glowacki is kind of, he's fought him. Yeah, did get out boxed, but he's a good fighter, is Glowacki. But so far, I think you can probably still give that third round to Okolie, but I think it was a closer round than the first two. Glowacki looked a bit more positive, especially in the first kind of half of that round. And good jab there from Okolie. The thing is, right, what he can do as well is when Glowacki is kind of moving forward, rather than trying to go for a right hand or a power shot, you can just pop the jab and it then puts Glowacki off balance, and then he can work off that.
Yeah,
that's what he should be trying to do. And he's got quite a good jab, Okolie. It's more like it's not a weak jab. It's not a field jab. Like, Tyson Fury sometimes when he backs on the back foot, he'll throw this like pouring jab. It's not. It's more like a Ramrod jab, more like a Dylan White or a Daniel Dubois or an Anthony Joshua at times. Although Anthony Joshua has a mix of one now, Tyson Fury has a mix, but you want to have that more power jab. Good.
Yeah. I still feel like Okolie's swinging a bit. Look, he's a bit reckless with his swinging. He's not that accurate. He's utilizing the jab a lot, and he's a bit precautious on when to swing. He does swing a bit recklessly. Yeah,
I agree. I think he needs to be more selective, doesn't he? I feel like he needs to set up the punches. He's kind of throwing it, expecting to land.
I feel like he's playing it more for chance. He's going by chance rather than actually skill. Yeah,
I think he's relying on his athleticism and hoping that, I'm throwing these punches quick enough and with enough speed that I can catch him off guard. But really, he needs to set them up. This guy is a step up.
And keeping Glowacki at the end of the jab just keeps him in the safe spot more than anything. So that he just keeps him at the jab, so then he doesn't, Glowacki won't land much on him, which he's not.
He keeps him at a safe distance, exactly. 100%, yeah. Oh, that's better. See, so
good right hand.
Solar flex. That's a better right hand again.
Okolie's going for it. Here we go.
He looks hurt. I think Okolie's going to go for it here.
You see, Okolie's more confident now. He knows that Glowacki.
Good jab. I think he's been told by his coach to just relax. Don't kind of load up. But that was good. A couple of good right hands there from Okolie.
Yeah, I think Okolie might knock him out. And look, Glowacki's not really doing much. He's just trying to cover up. He's not really countering.
Yeah, because he's hurt. I think he's
hurt. This looks like it's going to go one way.
Oh, good jab again from Okolie. Oh, here we go. Come on, Lawrence.
Oh, that body shot hurt him.
Oh, that's a good shot though from
he curled in there. And look, Glowacki's just trying to punch on it. And look, again, he got told off for the back of the head.
Back of the head. Stop punching the back of the head. Glowacki, you can see his hair. There's swelling, I think, on the bottom of his right eye. Trying to pull with his left eye, actually. Yeah, his left eye has got clipped. It's a lot. There's quite a lot of blood there, actually. I think there's a cut there.
I think it's his right eye, isn't it? Or am I looking
right eye. Oh, did I say left eye? Sorry, his right eye.
Right, and then he said left.
Sorry, his right eye. Yeah. So actually, I think it's a right hand. So that one there hits on the chin, and there's another one around the guard. That's kind of hurt him a little bit, and also
Yeah,
the initial right hand, actually, the straight right hand that causes that cut.
the cut on the eye. Oh, Dylan White watching carefully. Was I going to say that the cut under his right eye? That's just for the countless number of jabs.
Yeah.
Derek Chisora.
Watchalong, what is he wearing?
He always wears that. I see he's fighting Joseph Podkinax. I just found out about
Yeah,
that today.
May 1st. I'll be covering that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's some really good fights on the undercard. So, Bivol, who's the light heavyweight champion, WBA, he's a really good fighter, unbeaten.
Nice.
He's actually on the undercard, which is crazy because he could headline easily. And a couple of other really, really good fights on there. So Chris Eubank Jr. is on there, and Katie Taylor against Natasha Jonas, which obviously we watched. Oh, a really good jab there from Glowacki. Well, the thing is, what do you think? Is Okolie going to try and kind of take him out this round, or do you think he's not hurt enough?
Not this round, maybe. Yeah, he's still got 7 rounds. I reckon he's going to hurt him a bit more. Look, Glowacki's trying to go for it as much as he can. Look, he's just trying to swing. Look, on the inside, he's punching.
Good jab there from Okolie. He just needs to not load up, but just really set up the shot to take him out.
Look at how Glowacki's sort of leaning back. He's leaning away from it. To me, that just shows he's trying to be more defensive. He's trying to cover up a lot. Glowacki looks very hurt.
You can see, look how long Lawrence Okolie is. He's so lanky. He'd be a nightmare. His arms and legs, he looks so gangly. Like he'd be a nightmare to fight.
What was that? Was that a warning again for Glowacki?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, good jab there from Lawrence Okolie. Really, really good stuff.
Oh, he's going to go down. Oh, he nearly went down. He got tangled up a bit there.
Oh, good stuff. Oh.
Yeah, you can tell him shaking his head. He's hurt.
Yeah, he looks hurt. He looks hurt. How long can he last is the question, I think. How long can he last? Come on, Lawrence. He just needs to be clever about it. Set it up. Don't rush it, as you're saying, Kev. Don't swing wildly. No need to. Jab is better. Oh, good right hand. Much better from Lawrence. Yeah, I think. So Glowacki there at the end, throwing a couple of combinations, but a bit kind of like too little, too late.
Yeah, he's just trying desperately at the end. You know when someone's losing like this and you know they're hurt, and to be fair, his cornermen probably think it's only going to go one way. It's interesting to see what advice they're giving them, like Glowacki's cornermen.
So I think you can go one of two ways. Like one way is, you know what, just kind of feel your way back into the fight, make sure that you box smart, and then kind of like build up momentum. Try and win the next round, kind of go from there. Or you can have the one where they're like, actually, when it gets towards the end of the fight, look, you need a knockout. And the guy just comes out swinging. But at the moment, I mean, to be honest, I don't think he's won a round. So potentially, potentially they may be telling him that, but they're probably saying to him, look, take a round or two to kind of really impose yourself in the fight, and then go from there. And I'll take it round by round, but you never know. Round 6 of this 12-round contest, and as Kev said, I think we've probably got 5 rounds to Okolie, I'd say.
The Glowacki dips quite low to avoid the shots.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So. Oh, and he's down. Oh,
Oh,
God.
damn. Oh, what a shot.
No, this might be it.
Oh, what a shot.
No, I think
What
that's
a shot. Oh, hold on. Oh, he's called off. What a shot. Oh, my God. And it's over. What
Wow.
a shot. Wow, what a way to do it.
I did think it was going that way. I thought
Wow.
it'd be a bit later.
Unbelievable.
What round is this? Round 6, right? Halfway into the
Yeah.
5.
Oh, my days. I didn't think it'd be over that quickly. Flipping out. Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
I think the referee's been like, yeah, sorry about the back of the head punches from him. I think that's what he was saying. He's like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do anything about that. So, yeah, it's interesting. So, someone like Glowacki, it's interesting to see what happens with their career now, isn't it?
Well, he's towards the end of his career, so he'll probably retire soon.
You really think so?
He's already been world champion twice, so yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Unbelievable. Wow. What a right hand. Did a replay for that again.
Yeah, he's 35, isn't he? So, yeah. I mean, to be fair, looking at his record, he's actually had a lot of wins overall.
Yeah. Well, no, he's had a very good career, to be fair.
Yeah.
Wow. Really, really good. Really, really good from Lawrence Okolie. Unbelievable stuff from him.
So where does Okolie go from here? Who would be his next fight, do you reckon?
So he can go one of two ways. He can either move up in weight to this new bridger weight, which is in between cruiserweight or heavyweight, or he can go up to heavyweight, or he can unify in cruiserweight. So the other cruiserweight champion, you've got Maris Bradis, who's won, and you've got another one. So either he'll look at Maris Bradis, or hold on. Or who's the other cruiserweight champion? I've forgotten. Or Makabu, Ilungu Makabu, who's got the WBC title. So he can either fight Makabu or he can fight Bradis if he wants to unify, which I think he'll probably want to do because he wants to move quite quickly. Because I don't think he'll be at cruiserweight much longer. Probably the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually that's a really good shot because whilst Glowacki is dipped down, he's managed to adjust Okolie and he's thrown that kind of from the hip almost. That's a really good. It's a short right hand.
Yeah,
that was a very good shot. Unbelievable shot from Lawrence Okolie. Oh, that's a damn good shot.
Yeah. I think Glowacki wanted it out a bit earlier, but he was like, "Yeah, I just have to find a time where he lands a big shot so I can make it look more convincing." That's just. I feel like I can read these boxes quite well. Like he just looks like, and they get up so slowly.
He punches hard, to be fair. I think he probably was hurt. It was so funny. The Sauce, Lawrence Okolie is the new WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the world. Very, very good win for Lawrence Okolie. And as I said, he's going to go on to try and unify now in the cruiserweight division. Then he'll be moving up in weight, either to bridgerweight or to heavyweight. So we'll be seeing him at heavyweight probably some point next year, Kev, amongst the big boys.
Nice.
I'd imagine.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he still has. I think, room to improve. I think for sure he's still a work in progress.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at him, so happy, and rightly so. In the space of 8 years, he's become he picked up boxing in 8 years, and he's now won a world title. Unbelievable.
That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable victory from Lawrence Okolie as well. Fantastic knockout as well. Really, really good knockout. Very accurate. And look, they're playing his song. Oh, I love that. TKO. Here we go. I love how they're playing his song. It's so jokes.
It'll be interesting to see how he sort of progresses as he moves up. I still think he needs improvement.
Yeah, he does.
Okolie.
Yeah, he does. Even to be honest, Kev, if he fights someone like Maris Bradis, he'll need to be better than this.
Yeah, he does.
If you fight someone like Makabu, he may get away with it. But again, he's a good fighter, so he still needs to keep improving.
Yeah.
It's a good victory for sure. I mean, Glowacki's still a good fighter, but yeah, he needs to still continue to improve
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Imagine his colleagues at McDonald's still watching him. Like, I used to work with that guy. Or he's like his boss, his McDonald's branch manager.
Wow. 16 fights, British, Commonwealth, European, and now world champion.
Wow.
Wow. Penny boys. Sauce. No, really, really good knockout there. Unbelievable stuff from him. And as Kev said, you can tell he's still a work in progress, but still really, really good knockout. And the fact that he's now world champion in 16 fights is a ridiculous feat. So looking forward to seeing more of him for sure.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Don't rush. It's a really good point. Because I think we were saying he needs to pick his shots, right? Which is exactly what he did in the end. And Shane McGuigan was telling him, don't rush. Like when he hurt him in, what was it, the third or fourth round? And you were saying, look, it's too early. And it was. And then he kind of set up nicer here. Yeah, very good shot. You can see because he's kind of ducked down and he's gone, yep, boop. There you go, bang.
Yeah, he couldn't really. That was a clean shot as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was ducking, so he was already off balance.
He was ducking in a very strange way, like ducking very low.
Mm. Eddie Hearn promising him something, and he's just realised that he now has to pay up. Hilarious.
They attempt to fight the Askin finals level that you. Obviously, I want to shout Brian for sure this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely improved since the hugging days against Matty Askin when we watched him live.
I was going to say, actually, yeah, he's not hugging anymore. I remember we were all booing that fight as well when we saw him hugging.
Not me, I'm a good boy. Just in case he sees us and I ever get to interview him. All right, Kev.
All right, mate.
Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, it's just great 2 fights that I came on for. Hope the rest of the fights, the undercards, were good as well. So I
they
didn't get
were.
a chance to join in.
No, that's right. They were good, and I'm really looking forward to next week, guys. If you're watching, please do tune in. We'll be covering Dylan White versus Alexander Povetkin, the rematch. I'll be doing some of the undercard fights. I'm sure Kev will join for at least a couple of the fights, if not more, as well, which will be good fun. And I think we might get Mo to come on as well. So there might be 3 of us, which will be good fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really good fun. Be some laughs after we had good fun. I don't know if you remember doing some of the videos. Us 3 had a good laugh. So it should be good. So looking forward to it. Cool. Thanks very much, guys, for joining. Please do remember to like this video. Share the videos with all the people that you think might enjoy it. And also, please do check out my playlist, Boxing Interviews, where I've interviewed a number of boxers, including some that are going to be on the card next week. Kane Baker, JJ Metcalf, to name a few. So I'll probably have a few more as well on my sleeve, fingers crossed. But yeah, do stay tuned for that as well. And thank you very much for watching.